Welcome. And thank you for tuning in to the Kitchen Close podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about 10 red flags to spot a lazy coworker. Now, dealing with jobs and situations, we all know there's a lazy coworker out there somewhere. And if you don't experience that at your workplace, you may be the lazy one. So today we're going to be talking about the 10 red flags to spot a lazy coworker, y'all. So feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. And at the end of this, leave a comment and let's talk about some lazy people you might know. Leave them in the comments. Number one, this is not in no particular order or anything like that. We just running down 10 red flags, y'all. And number one is missing deadline. Now, a deadline can't be missed because it's a time it's supposed to be out and a time the person might need this. So missing deadlines is a big red flag as a lazy coworker because a lazy coworker may frequently miss deadlines or take much longer time as necessary to complete an assignment or task. So if you're not jumping right on to it when the deadline is due and you procrastinating or being, taking longer than necessary to finish the task at hand, the assignment, that's a sign of laziness right there. So we can't be dealing with no people who be missing deadlines. That's number one. Don't miss the deadline. You're going to make your team look bad. You look bad. It's not good for the whole staff or your coworkers. So missing deadlines is number one in a red flag detecting a lazy coworker. Number two, avoiding responsibilities. Now, we all have titles and hats we wear on different jobs. Some people got to do this, some people do this, some people do that. If you avoid your responsibility on what you're doing and you're working with a team, how is that gonna work? It's not gonna work like that, y'all. And y'all could agree with me on that. So avoiding responsibilities, excuse me, they may avoid taking an additional responsibility or pass it off to somebody else for them to do it, delaying the task, they gonna get somebody else to do your work, passing it off to the next person because you ain't responsible enough to handle your business. So number two is avoiding responsibilities. Now, if a team player, you gotta be responsible because we need you in your position. You playing. And that goes on any job. You gotta be responsible for what your actions and what your job is on that job. So put your work in and stop avoiding responsibilities. Number two. Number three is procrastination. When people procrastinate, that means they're not getting right to it. They taking their time, dealing with it. Procrastination. A lazy coworker may often procrastinate, delay tasks until the last minute or until somebody else takes over. You know, you if you're working with a bunch of good people and you the slowest and the laziest, you gonna watch them and they gonna be finished and they gonna be like, man, get out the way, man, let me finish this. So, when you procrastinate on your job, that's not flop. Cause that's a bad sign right there. And that's a major sign for a lazy coworker. If you already told them to go do this and they walking around and fiddling around, taking a break, just not getting to what they were supposed to do. They procrastinate. So that procrastination, that's number three, a red flag for a lazy coworker, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We in a society right now where people just want to get a check and don't want to put in the work. Well, you if you don't work, you don't eat. So you got to participate in the job situation. You know what I'm saying? Number four. This is a big red flag too. Number four, lack of initiative. If you already know you don't feel like doing it, what kind of mess is that? And lack of initiative, they may not show initiative or come up with ideas for improvement, leaving workers, leaving others to do their work. You ain't got no input. You can't help us out with the problem, the situation. What are you here for then? We don't need you on the job if you lack initiative. Come on, man. You not trying to do nothing. That's number 4, lack of initiative. You gotta be ready to work. You gotta be a team player. Come on, play your part. Number 5, lack of enthusiasm. You not even excited to be at the job. You not even happy you got a job. You ain't excited, enthusiasm, nothing showing. You just like, it's just a job. Now, when you lack enthusiasm, that means you may seem disinterested or lack enthusiasm for for their work, appearing to do the minimum to get by. You just here to get by. Like I say, you just here to show up to get the check, payday come, you out the door. But you don't show no enthusiasm. You're not even happy about the job. You're not proud about the job you did. You're not excited about that. So that's a number 5. That's a red flag. Lack of enthusiasm. Number 6, minimum effort. That falls in line with lack of enthusiasm too. If you put in minimum effort, that means a lazy coworker may complete tasks with a minimum effort or attempt to detailed results. Let me see. Subpar work quality. They gonna do a half ass, if you want to say that. Minimum effort. So if you're not putting effort into what you do, or even making it quality for the whatever you producing or putting out, that's minimum effort. You ain't even trying. Just try at least. That doesn't make sense to me. You at a job. It's obviously you there because you need the job. So why would you lack? Would you put minimum effort into the job you got? You should show more effort. That's how you move up in rank and get higher pay and stuff like that. So number 6, minimum effort. Number 7, I think this should be number 1, but just like I said, this is not in no order. Number 7, excuses. Why this not finished, Vinny? I don't. This knife ain't sharp enough. Um, you know, we got a deadline. What's taking you so long? Um, the oven wasn't hot enough, and I gotta wait for it to fit. Come on, man. Excuses. Now, number 7, lazy coworkers. They may frequently. Let me see. Lazy coworkers. Excuses. They may frequently make excuses for not completing work, blaming criticism or others instead of taking responsibility. So that means not only you make excuses, but you ain't even taking up for what you did. You putting it on the next person. So next, number 7 is excuses, poor excuses. Man. Now we're going into the red flag, number 8, which is poor time management. It's like I said, we talked about earlier, missing deadlines, avoiding responsibilities, procrastinating, lack of initiative, lack of empathy and all that, minimum effort, excuses. So poor management fall in the line of all of that because you're not managing yourself to do what's supposed to be done. And that's a sign of a lazy coworker. Poor management. Lazy coworkers may struggle with time management, spending excessive time on personal tasks or wasting time during work hours. So basically, you just riding the clock. You just playing it all. You got poor time management. Should we close at 2 o'clock? It's 1:30. I'll start doing this in a few minutes before we close. Come on, man. You can't be doing that. That's real lazy. And that's a major red flag with me because I used to be in management, and if I have something for you to do, and I done came back an hour and 30 minutes late, you ain't even really started or halfway done. Come on, we not gonna have no poor time management when I'm working. Number 9, lack of communication. Now, when you working somewhere, you're not the only person there. You working with a team. You working with others. So lack of communication is very important. All right. For a lazy coworker, they may not communicate efficiently with others. Team members cause delays and confusion. So when you don't communicate, you can cause confusion and cause delays in what y'all doing because y'all ain't on the same page because you're not communicating. How far as like when we working on the line on the kitchen or something, a steak may be meat. They want the steak medium rare, but on their ticket they got other stuff that cook way faster than the steak or take longer. So you want to make sure whatever takes the longest gets put down first, and what would take the less time to cook, you put that on last or in between, so you can have time for the one that takes longer to cook instead of cooking the one that cooked quick and having it wait for the one that took so long. So now you got food dying while you waiting on something else that they all could go together, but you didn't communicate. So this person didn't know you had a steak, but it falls in line with excuses. They'll make an excuse. Well, you ain't tell me. Nah, you ain't communicating. You talk. So that's number 9, lack of communication. Then the number 10 red flag is responsibility. Unresponsibility. Matter of fact, a lazy coworker may unreliably frequently call in sick or show up late to the job. You're unreliable. Unreliability. I can't count on you. You supposed to be here 2 o'clock. Here it is. It's 2:30, 2:15. Like most jobs, they rather you be there early than be there like you get there right at 2 o'clock. Nah, they want you to be a little early, at least 10 to 5 minutes early before your shift start. That show good responsibility. But you being unresponsible, you coming in regardless. Some bosses get pissed at you if you come in 5 minutes late, even though you supposed to work at 2. You came in at 2:05. But hey, like hey, when your schedule say from 2 to 10, I bet you 10 o'clock you out the door though, right? So let's keep in mind, you gotta be responsible. And those are the 10 red flags for a lazy coworker. If you know somebody like that, leave a comment, tell a story about what happened in the comments, and later on we'll do a live panel about 10 lazy red flags on a coworker. If you like this content and you are hard work and all that, feel free to like, subscribe, and join the Kitchen Close podcast. Check out my community board. I always display some work related type of quotes and whatnot, some work related polls and things like that. And it's your guy Chef Vinny, and I appreciate y'all tuning into the Kitchen Close podcast on YouTube. Don't forget the Kitchen Close podcast is also an audio podcast on Spotify and other podcast platforms. So check me out there too. I'm a little delayed on the audio content, but I'll be back with more content further and further. So appreciate y'all tuning in to the Kitchen Clothes podcast. And don't forget, check out some of my other videos. And if you missed some, check them out here. They're old ones. And this your guy, Chef Vinny. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in and keep on following and liking the Kitchen Clothes podcast. Peace, I'm out.